Wasabi Gangsters, it's me, Chance, here to talk about books this week. What I read, not much. I finished another couple chapters of Toll the Hounds. I'm getting deeper into it, and the reading time this weekend was just kind of low. We did a lot of running around at the end of summer for Labor Day here. And it was a good time. I'm grateful I spent time doing that, but now we're going to get back to some reading. Hopefully this next week and a half, I'll be able to break a little bit more ground, get to halfway point by next week so I can give you guys a little bit more of an update. But I do want to read a quote from this because I picked it out. Last night I was reading, and it really stood out. Just like Stephen Erikson's ability to touch on grief, touch on compassion, touch on just so many important themes, and his writing is so amazing. And I was listening to John. He just finished Deadhouse Gates from Talking Story. John from Talking Story talk about Deadhouse Gates and just how if it weren't in the fantasy subgenre that it might be, and not because it's in the fantasy subgenre, it isn't, but it would be one of the best books of all time, if not the best book of all time. Just simply because the writing itself and the story and the themes and just the human condition and all the things that he kind of goes into in all of his books. But let me briefly read this quote here. Sacrifice must be weighed by the pain of what is surrendered, and this alone was the true measure of a virtue's worth. I know I probably screwed that up, but that is just, I don't know what it is about Stephen Erikson, but he can really just hit you out of nowhere with something that just resonates. Maybe different moments in our lives come about, and he really touches on things that really get to me. And it's my understanding that Toll the Hounds, he dedicated this to his father. I believe his father passed away right before this was published, or right before he started writing it. And I think that sort of grief shows up, I think, a lot in the story, which I haven't found annoying in any way, shape, or form, or over the head, or whatever. I maybe because I also lost my father, I deeply resonate with a lot of what's going on so far. But there's nothing I can pick out yet, just quite yet. But I'm only roughly, 20-25% through this, so I imagine that maybe it'll get a little deeper later. And I'm also I also started The Invisible Life of Adie Larue. Doing this mostly on Kindle. Not deep into it just yet. Slowly getting into it, slowly diving into it. I do intend on finishing this, and it is based on a few chapters I've gotten through so far. The three to five chapters I've gotten through so far of this. Oddly enough, it's a little bit of a lighter read. It's just shorter compared to Malazan. It's just something to kind of take me out of the Malazan world, which is nice out of fantasy in general. Although I believe this is fantasy overall by V.E. Schwab. It starts off, and we're with a woman, and people forget her, and that's all I can say right now. I don't want to get too much into it, and I don't really know the reasons why quite yet, but I imagine those will be discovered as I go. And then I've read another chapter out of Berserk, the 9th volume of the deluxe edition. Technically, I'm close to the end of the 25th volume of the series. I have, I think, one chapter left. We're about to get to some trolls, that's all I'll say. I won't get too spoilery right here, but we have an interesting cast of characters coming together now, and we're starting to see their relationships grow, the trust between each other grow, risks being taken for people who otherwise you wouldn't have expected them to take those risks. It's very interesting. We're getting a little bit more magic being used, which is really cool. We get a sorceress, a witch who's coming in, a young witch who's coming in and making a giant impact, and it's really cool to see sort of the respect that is demanded of such a person who has such access and control to this plane of which magic is pulled from. It's a fantastic read so far. Again, Berserk just constantly keeps shocking me with just how deep, again, the themes get. How I know it's very dark, but it's a very fantastic read. So I'm going to move on from the reading of what I got reading so far. I understand it was a light reading week for me, and you guys if you're here for that, I'm going to talk about some writing in that world for myself, for my own book, Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, which is available on Kindle Unlimited. We surpassed 65,000, probably actually 70,000, Kindle pages read at this point through Kindle Unlimited. We are over 1,300 copies, almost at 1,400, and we just signed an audiobook deal, a 4-book audiobook deal with Tantor Media, which I'm really excited about. Z.B. Steele, who wrote, I have his book. Wow. The Whisper. I really should know this. That's really bad. Hold on. I got it right here. Stay with me now. Whispers of the Storm. I knew it was It's crazy that I knew that was what it was, and I just wasn't confident enough to say it. Whispers of the Storm. Yeah, and so me and ZB Steele, he just signed a deal with Tantor as well. I signed one. We're both working with the same production company. It's the imprint. It's going to be really, really, I think this process is going to be really interesting for me to kind of get a deep dive and see kind of what goes into it. But yes, Mercy as a series will be getting all four books produced by Tantor. So I believe the expectation is in X amount of weeks, I will receive some samples and we'll kind of go from there. But I'm really, really excited. I mean, contractually obligated to get all four of these books out, which was going to happen anyway. But it's just really nice that we have that little. It's published on Publishers Marketplace. It's out there for people to see. It's just really, really exciting for me. It's a big step for sure. And I definitely don't want to play it down because audiobooks is just, you expand your reach so much. Just to be transparent in terms of like getting your story out there as authors, I think a lot of indie authors and people out there who are aspiring writers, it's important to have that awareness. So, be like, the whole thing is like us wanting to share our stories and wanting to write and wanting to have more time to write and spend more time writing. So that is just another stepping stone in that direction. And I am very, very excited with how it's all turning out. And you guys will hear more on that as we go. In terms of book 2 stuff, Mercy, Ill is the Fate, I have been going back and forth with Abel Montero over the author of The Crimson Fire. And he does a lot of my jacket design. He didn't do the cover art, but he puts together the design, the typography. It's like a whole other facet of this world. That, I mean, he did a beautiful job with Tears of the Fallen, and he is also crushing it with Ill is the Fate. I am so excited to share this with you guys. I will be sending out a cover on my newsletter. The Patreon members got it 2 weeks ago. Tonight, the newsletter that's going out, I think at the same time this video is updated or published, you guys will, on my newsletter, will see Mercy, Ill is the Fate, the cover, the official cover. But I am waiting a couple weeks for the official cover reveal to the greater public. So if you are interested in being a part of that cover reveal, please let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email back to the newsletter I send out. I'll be sure to mark it up that you guys can respond and hopefully it comes out to me. That would make sense, right? And yeah, I'm so excited to share that with the world. I will be posting the hardcover sort of dust jacket mock-up that Abel has made for me on my Patreon for members over there to see, just so they can kind of get into the process a little bit. Other people aren't going to see that newsletter-wise or ever probably. It's just going to be for Runeborn members over on my Patreon, which you can sign up for. I offer writing updates weekly for free, as well as those go through my newsletter. The same updates go to both. Just the newsletter people get it a night before, and then the morning after it gets sent out to my Patreon members. So yeah, that's what's going on there. That's the audiobook deal is big. I'm really freaking stoked about it. That is the big conversation here. And then I will be sending my manuscript of book 2 for Mercy, Ill is the Fate to Dave Butler. I believe I'm going to shoot him an email tonight, actually, after I'm done recording this in my 90-second clip that I always do every week. I'm going to fire him over an email and tell him that's effectively ready to be sent over. I'm just waiting again for some funds to hit from book stuff happening, and this sort of comes back in and plugs right back into the series, which is what I'm obviously the intention is. Like, you bring the money in, you want to put it out back into the project, and that's what this has been. It's been a very big learning process for me, and I think that's an appropriate way to go about it. Because I really am excited for this to be out there, especially book 2. I'm really stoked that Mercy, Tears of the Fallen's out there, and it's going to get an audiobook, and we're going to be able to hear it hopefully within the next however long, hopefully before book 2 comes out. And then it just Ill is the Fate getting out there in the world and seeing people's response to that and the story and everything that happens in it. I am just so stoked. And working with Dave, I haven't quite worked with him on this story or Ill is the Fate yet. But I'm very excited to see what he has to say. I'm very excited for the development that the manuscript is going to go through over this next, 3 to 4 months before we start doing advanced copies. I'm going to approach the NetGalley thing a little bit differently. I'm going to probably restrict the amount of copies that go out. I'm going to have people request and then send out. And then same thing is going to go for, I'm going to put a Google form out for physical arcs. I will still be doing giveaways of those, but being a X amount of, I'll probably have to put bars on it just generally. Although I do have friends who have a relative small following that I'm absolutely going to send physical copies to because they got the first one. All things considered, but yeah, it is something I'm going to have to be a little bit more restrictive on this time around. I am learning as I go. I'm happy to do giveaways. I will be doing more giveaways. I will be doing a giveaway. In fact, you know what? Screw it. Let's do a giveaway of paperback books. I got a couple left. The audiobook deal has been announced. Let's just do I'm going to give away 2 paperback books. So go ahead. I'm going to post on Instagram to go over there. And you'll see a post with that. I'm going to give away a couple paperbacks. Also, I'll be sending out a hardcover this week. That was a part of a giveaway done by Matt over at Hobby Vomit. I'm going to sign it, send it out to who won that, I think, through his video. But yeah, I'm going to give away a couple paperback books. Thanks, guys, for helping me decide that right now in this moment as I'm filming. So I'm going to go record that video. You guys have a fantastic night. I'm gonna do that, and we're going to talk next week. And you guys are going to see my newsletter if you're on the newsletter. Otherwise, just sign up to that thing. Sign up to the newsletter thing that I have. Do that. I know what you're thinking, Chance. This is an awkward ending. Okay? All right. Love you. Bye.